It's film room time, and today we're going to take a look at Nebraska linebacker safety. What is he? We know he's a player, and that's JoJo Domann. If you're not familiar with what I do in these, is I like to take clips and highlights and plays from various games to kind of illustrate and showcase the type of prospect, in this case, JoJo Domann is. And in today's NFL, defenders have to be versatile, they have to be chess pieces, and that's exactly what I see in JoJo Domann. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the game film. All right, the first thing I want to showcase is just Domann's ability to make plays in space. Here against Purdue, he's going to drop off the left edge, and the ball's going to be kind of dumped off to the tight end underneath, and he's just going to be able to fly up and make that tackle underneath. And as we see here, you know, Domann often lines up kind of in that he's kind of an edge defender in all reality in Nebraska's defense. He'll line up, in this case, up on the line over the tight end. Sometimes a lot of times he's over the slot receiver, and he ends up dropping into coverage, and he just has that playmaking sense, that feeling of where the ball is at, and he sees that the ball is dumped off, and he's able to come up and just lay a big hit to prevent, there's no one around him at the time, and Domann was just able to use his speed and just deliver that big hit on the tight end for that tackle. We see another example of that here against Buffalo. Here Domann's down here at the bottom of the screen, lined up over the slot receiver, and Buffalo's going to run a quick little swing pass, and Domann's able to beat that block with speed, get around that guy trying to block him, and just come in once again with another big hit to get that tackle in space. And so that's the thing I like about Domann is he's a space player. He can play out in coverage, he can react, and then come up and make a tackle. In the NFL, you have to make tackles in space, and Domann, in the case, in the last play, shows that ability to come up and make a big play. So the last couple clips I've shown has seen him almost as a safety, and that's the thing about Domann. Is the question is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? And those last two plays kind of showed him coming up in space as if maybe a strong safety might. In this play against Purdue, it shows his ability to come up and fill a hole. Now, he's still lined up out here almost like a slot defender, but he's kind of almost maybe as a weak side linebacker. And Purdue's ended up going to run the ball up the middle, and we see this hole forming right here. Domann's able to see that, come up into the hole, put his shoulder down, and make that tackle. He's not driving the guy down. He's kind of dragging him down as a tackler, but it doesn't matter because he still made the tackle. But it just shows his ability, once again, to step up into the hole and make that tackle and prevent a big gain. Now, this play against Oklahoma is another play that I really like because it showcases Domann's ability to see what he can do as a linebacker. In this play, Domann's lined up right here. So he's lined up on the edge, playing as almost like a strong side linebacker, playing over the tight end. And Oklahoma's going to run the ball away. And what I like here that Domann's able to do is he comes up and you see how he takes on this blocker. He's able to take on the blocker and then shed underneath or inside to get that tackle. So I love his ability to come up. He's a physical player. A lot of people see him, and Pro Football Focus has him listed as a corner. He spent a lot of time in the slot this year in Nebraska's defense. But he's a physical player. He's played the edge. He's played almost as a defensive end, a 3-4 outside linebacker, if you want to call it that. And he's not afraid to come up, put his hands on a defender, shed, and then make that tackle. And this is stuff you see linebackers do in the NFL. And back to the Purdue game, another thing, Domann's lined up here on the edge once again, and this is 4th and short. And Purdue's trying to get this first down. And what I love here is Domann is able to come off this, take on the tight end. So it's not like he's a free run off the edge, but he's able to take on the tight end, shoot inside, use his speed, and clean up this play to get the stop on 4th down. Okay? Once again, he takes on that tight end. He pushes him back, frees himself inside, and then just uses that speed. Now, he didn't stop this guy on his own. He cleaned it up, but he still had enough speed and a big hit to prevent that running back from getting that first down. And it just shows his ability to play with physicality, shows his ability to shed, shows his speed and quickness, and just his playmaking ability. That's the thing about Doman, is he always makes plays. Doman's ability to play with physicality, I've talked about him coming up, I've talked about him stacking. Doman didn't have the fastest time at the combine. Probably ran, I think, in the low 4.6s. But he plays much faster on the field. And here against Ohio State, one of the best offenses in college football, speed all over the field. Doman's lined up here at the top. Once again, kind of that walkout 3-4 outside linebacker. And Ohio State's going to run the ball away. And look at how fast Doman is off the ball. I mean, by the time the running back has the ball, he's already in the backfield. He's a couple of yards into the backfield. And he's able to then chase this guy down. And he had to kind of slow down. It's not, once again, Nebraska's other edge rusher was pushing his guy back. But Doman was still able to come in and make that tackle for a loss. And it's all because of his timing, his speed and quickness off the ball. And he's got that ability to run and chase. And in today's NFL, a linebacker has to be able to run and chase and use his speed to get defenders down all over the field. And we're seeing that. We saw it with Doman coming up as a safety. Now we're seeing him come up as a pseudo linebacker and making plays. And we see another example of that here against Oklahoma. Once again, Doman's lined up right here, kind of covering that slot receiver. Oklahoma's going to run the ball away, and Doman's able to come off the edge and chase him down. So not only did he, wasn't like, hey, you ran right to him. This running back's running away from him, and he's able to chase him down from behind, make that tackle for only a short gain, when really Oklahoma had this blocked pretty well. That guy easily could have made it around the corner for that first down. And Doman was able to, because he was coming off. It was a blitz off the edge once again, but it shows his quickness and that speed to be a run and chase style linebacker. Linebacker in the NFL, you have to be much more than just a tackler. We're seeing that these run stuffing guys, they're only limited players. To be a successful, good starter in the NFL at linebacker, you have to be able to cover. Same thing of safety. And I've shown basically all these clips so far of Doman making tackles and coming up and all that. But what about his coverage? Well, Pro Football Focus gave him one of the highest grades for defensive backs for his coverage. So you know that he's a good cover guy. And we see that here against Ohio State. And he's going to be matched up against Jeremy Ruckert, who is probably going to be one of the top 5 tight ends drafted. And Doman's lined up over him, kind of back a little bit. So once again, kind of looks like a safety here. And when Ruckert comes out, he's able to stick with him. And Ruckert's going to, it's off screen, so it's hard to see. Ruckert's going to fake outside and come inside. And what Doman's able to do is he's able to recover. And look at him, he's right in his hip pocket. So at that stem, he was able to stick with him on his cut. And then he's able to leap out and deflect that ball away. And it just shows his comfortability in coverage and just his ball skills, that he's able to go out and cover an elite tight end in this year's class and make a play to prevent a catch. All right, another example of Doman in coverage against Oklahoma. He's lined up down here over the tight end once again. And Doman's made a living out of covering tight ends. I showed you facing off against Jeremy Ruckert, who was one of the best tight ends of this 2022 class. The year prior, he shut down Pratt Freiermuth at the end of the game when Penn State was trying to score to take the lead. Freiermuth goes on and has a really good rookie year. So Doman's got that ability to play tight ends. And here against Oklahoma, we see him lined up against Austin Stoger. And Doman, what I love here is he's able to get into Stoger at the line of scrimmage, jam him, throw him off his route, and Stoger doesn't get targeted here, mainly because Doman basically took him off his route, rerouted him, and threw off that timing for Oklahoma's quarterback Spencer Rattler, and that he's not able to make this play along with a blitz from one of the linebackers. And Doman had a big role in disrupting this play, all because of his physicality with the tight end. And it wasn't overwhelmingly, but just rerouted him enough that he wasn't able to have that timing with the quarterback, and the quarterback had to go elsewhere. And finally, the last play I want to showcase is Doman's ability, once again, to make plays and in coverage. So here against Ohio State, CJ Stroud's rolling to his right, and he's going to try and hit this receiver down the sideline on kind of like a back shoulder throw. And Doman was able to read that. As you see here, look at Doman in coverage. He's running with him. He's able to read the receiver breaking down and able to cut in front and make this catch and stay in bounds. This is against Jackson Smith-Njigba, who is, was putting up huge numbers at the end of the year. And Doman was able to stick in his hip pocket and enough he could jump this route, even though Njigba fell down, and make this key interception along the sideline. And it just showcases not only his ability to stick with slot receivers, but then his ability to make a play on the ball and make a key interception. It's easy to see why so many people in the NFL draft community are such big fans of JoJo Domann, just because he's got this versatility that we don't see with a lot of players. And in today's NFL, I always call it a sub-package league. We have offenses running a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, throwing the ball more than we've ever seen, and that's caused defenses to be in their nickel and dime more than their base. And so you need versatile players like JoJo Domann. He's hybrid. At Nebraska, he was basically a 3-4 outside linebacker that they'd walk out and cover in slot receivers. And then this past year, he basically played as their nickel defender, and he would sometimes line up as a 3-4 outside linebacker. Sometimes he'd line up over the slot, and he covered slot wide receivers and tight ends at an elite level. But where is he going to play in the NFL? That's the big question. Is he a linebacker? Is he a safety? And at this point, I think he's both. And he's going to come into the NFL his rookie year and probably be a dime linebacker, which is essentially just a strong safety in the box. And he's going to be asked to play in space. He's going to be asked to play in coverage. He's going to be asked to run and chase and make tackles. And I think that he can definitely do that and have a lot of success. And I think in his process of doing that, he's going to continue to develop, and we're going to maybe see in 2 to 3 years JoJo Domann develop into a starter and one of the 11 players out on the field to start the game. And I think that's going to be as a linebacker, as more of a weak side guy who's still playing in space. I don't think he's going to be in the box on a regular basis, but really a weak side linebacker, a strong side linebacker, strong safety that walks down. They're all kind of similar in that skill set. And I think if Doman can get picked up by a team with a good defensive coordinator that understands how to use his skill set, I think he's going to have a very successful NFL career. Now, it wouldn't shock me if Doman was picked in the 3rd round. I don't think he will be. I think he's probably like a 4th rounder, just because he's not an elite athlete. If he would run in the 4.4s or the 4.5s, I think he'd be a 2nd or 3rd round pick. But he was a 4.6 guy. He's only 6'1", 228 pounds, so he doesn't have elite size or measurables. He's just a football player, and his game speed, I think his GPS speed on the field is a lot faster than what his 40-yard dash or short shuttle and that is, and those weren't bad, but I think because he didn't put up elite numbers, that's why he's going to probably fall into the early day 3 of the 2022 NFL draft. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I hope everybody enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications so you get every one of my new videos. Make sure you're following me on social media, draft_Brian, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, TikTok. Draft_Brian is the name. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.